So this video will include 3 parts. The first part will be writing a full chemical equation by combining two half ionic equations. And then part 2 will be about observation of the redox reaction. And part 3 will be doing some difficult examples of the redox reaction at the last page, which is page 30. Yeah. So first one, I hope that you still remember how to write the half ionic equation. For acidic, okay, here writes the first one. First task writes the half ionic equation for acidified potassium permanganate. And then we have to identify the effective ion, the effective oxidizing agent or reducing agent in this solution. As we know that potassium ion is not the common reducing agent or oxidizing agent in the table that I told you before. Do you remember? Here, potassium is not here, potassium ion is not here, and it's neither here. It's not the common oxidizing agent and reducing agent. So it should not be potassium. So instead, the effective oxidizing agent will be permanganate ion. And then permanganate is MnO4 minus, and you have to remember what it changes to. After doing those 3 pages, I think you have a good memory of it already. It will changes to Mn2 plus, and then the first step balance the number of the element which has a change in oxidation number. Do you still remember how to calculate the oxidation number? What's the oxidation number for Mn in this ion? We can let it be X. And then for oxygen, the oxidation number is always -2, and there are 4 oxygen. And the charge for M permanganate ion is -1. Then you can solve it. Then you will find that X equals to +7. So the oxidation number is +7. And then for this, oxidation number is the charge of that ion, right? Now the charge of manganese ion is 2+, so the oxidation number will be +2. So Mn has a change in oxidation number. So first step, we have to balance the number of Mn. On the right, there is only 1 Mn, and then on the left there is also only 1. So we can skip step 1. And then step 2, we have to balance the number of oxygen by adding water. On the left there are 4 oxygen, and on the right there is 0. So we have to add 4 water to balance the number of oxygen. And then the third step, we need to add hydrogen ion. So it's 8 hydrogen ion. And at last, we need to add the electron to balance the charge of both sides. So if you forget how to do it, then you have better to go back the previous part. Okay. And then for the second one, write half ionic equation for iron 2 sulfate. As we know that sulfate is not the common oxidizing agent or reducing agent. Instead, iron 2 is the common reducing agent. So we will choose this. Iron will be oxidized to iron 3, and it will lose 1 electron. My bad, I did it wrong. We'll lose 1 electron. Okay, now it's perfect. Okay, then how can we combine these two chemical equations? Okay, the number of electron lost must equals to the number of electron gained. And then on the first half equation, can you see that it needs 5 electrons? It will gain 5 electrons. And for iron, it will loses only 1. So how can you balance the number of electrons? Because each permanganate ion will gain 5, but this one only give 1 electron. So for this equation, you need to times 5, so that there will be 5 electrons. And then now I will combine them together. So I will write down all the reactants for this, and all the reactants from this. So all the reactants here and all the reactants here. Okay, so 5 electron plus, and the last one, the second half ionic equation. And for the product, I will write these. Okay, I made a big mistake. Multiply by 5, so here should be 5 iron. And then on the right, for the product side, Mn2 plus, okay, so now it's done. We combined two equations together. We just make the reactants together and then put it here, and then the products to the right hand side of the overall chemical equation. And then now, because there are 5 electrons on both sides, so you can cancel it and then rewrite the chemical equation. Then that is the answer. Okay, but whenever you complete it, there is one more step you have to do, which is check whether you have did it correctly or wrongly by looking at the charge. On the left, what is the charge now? 8 plus, and then for permanganate is 1 negative, so minus 1. And for iron, 5 times 2, which is 10. So the charge here is 17, right? And what's the charge for the right hand side? Plus 2, and then plus 3 times 5 is 15. It's also 17. Okay, then congratulations, you have done it correct. Okay, so I will do one more for you as example, which is this one, number 1. Okay, so half ionic equation, sodium sulfide. Sodium sulfide, sulfide is the common reducing agent. So I will choose to do this, SO3 2 minus. And do you remember what it will change to? Refer to the table. I wish I'm using Zoom now so I can pick one of you to answer and see if you remember it. It's sulfate ion. And then balance the number of the element which has changed in oxidation number. And if you are familiar with it, then you should know that it should be sulfur. And now on both sides there is only one sulfur, so we can skip step 1. And then step 2, we add water to balance the number of oxygen. And then add hydrogen ion to balance the number of hydrogen. At last, we add electron to balance the charge. Okay, for another chemical, for another half reaction, permanganate again. Okay, I'm still here, it's not mute. Okay, and then now how can we combine these two half ionic equation? How can we combine it? This one 2 electron and then this one 5. How can I make it the same? 2 and 5 multiply by what number? Then they will be the same. Then we have to find the HCF of it, or LCM. I forgot. Okay. So this one should multiply by 5. Then it will be 10. And this one multiplied by 2, it will be 10. Then they will be equal. Then they will have same number of electrons on both sides. Then at last I can cancel it. So now what I need to do is to combine them together. And thus the first equation multiplied by 5. So 5 water plus And then for the second ionic equation, now times 2. I'm not writing the number of electrons because I know that at last there will be 10 electrons on both sides. I will write it for you, okay? And then 5. Okay, then is it done? No, not yet. First of all, we will cancel the number of electrons, which is the same on both sides, and we have to simplify it. How? There are 5 water here, there are 8 water here, then we can simplify it. On both sides, we remove 5 water. After removing 5 water, then there will be only 3 waters left. And also hydrogen ion. We deduct 10 hydrogen ion from both sides. Then here will be only 6 left. So we will rewrite it. This we can clean it. We can remove it. And then there will be only 3 water left. And then for this one, no more 16 hydrogen ion, only 6 hydrogen ion. Okay, do you finish? No! Remember, we have one more step. Check the charge. Double check your answer by checking the charge. Okay. The charge on the left is -10 plus 6 minus 2, which is -6. Okay. And the charge on the right is -10 and then plus 4, which is also -10. Then okay, congratulations, you did it correctly. Okay. So okay, for the first part, you have to complete all the overall chemical equation for the next 2 pages, okay, and this page. And now I will talk about part 2, the observation. So how can we write the observation? Suggest the expected observation for the reaction. You have to remember these color of the ions or the gas, right? So you must be very familiar with these, otherwise no one can help you to write the observation. These, okay, and then for bromine, it's yellowish brown. I wrote it last time, right? I remember I have done it last time, right? So this one is yellowish brown, and this one is brown, and this one is yellow, very pale yellow, and then this one is pale green. And then for reducing agent, it's almost the same. It just repeat the first page, so I will skip it. And for example, what's the observation for this reaction? Excess. Let me choose a good color. Okay, this one. Iron 2 is added to permanganate. This potassium is colorless. So originally the solution is purple in color. So the solution turns from purple, because the solution must be purple originally before you adding anything, okay? From purple to at last, according to the chemical equation, these are the product. Manganese are very pale pink, almost colorless, and we treat it as colorless. Water, no color. Iron 3, it's yellow, okay? So it's yellow. So we know that it's yellow. Turn to yellow. But very tricky. It said excess. Excess, that means we keep adding a lot of iron 2 sulfate to the solution a lot of iron 2 sulfate solution to it. So at last there is not only iron 3 plus, there will also a few iron 2 plus, because it's in excess, because excess of this is added, so it will be greenish yellow. Okay, to be very accurate, but I think if you can write from purple to yellow, it's already accepted. It will be accepted. Okay, but to be perfect, to make it perfect, then it will be better from purple to greenish yellow. Okay, I will do one more for you as example, like this. Okay, for the first half reaction, no color, colorless, so we can skip it. And then for the second one, purple, this iron is purple and this one is almost colorless, so the solution turns colorless from purple. Okay, for others you can do it by yourself, and I saw most of you did this one wrongly. So what's the reducing agent here? It's copper, and the oxidizing agent is concentrated nitric acid. You can write it like this, or you can write only the ion NO3 1-. And then according to that table, it will be reduced to NO102. Okay, then you follow the 4 steps to write a half ionic equation, and then you balance it. Okay, so easy for the observation. And now I will talk about the last part, which is the difficult examples, which is question 4, 5, 6 on page 30. Okay, so 4 is still easy. 1 is chlorine, and another one is this ion. Can you see that sodium changed to sodium? No change, so we skip it in the ionic equation. It didn't react, it didn't have a change before and after reaction, so I will skip it, I will ignore it in the reaction. And what will it change to? It's not in the table of common Ra nor common OA. So what will it change to? Then read the question carefully. It says that it will change to sulfate ion. Then again, you do it by yourself according to the 4 steps that I tell you. Here 3 sulfur, here only 1 sulfur. So before you start, you should add 2 here. Okay, I think you can still handle this. And then for number 5, alkaline. This one is really difficult. Okay, alkaline. So we can still do it using the normal steps first. Bromide will change to this. Okay, bromide change to this. Okay, then only one bromine, done. Skip step 1. And then 3 water, because there are 3 oxygen. Okay, done. And then but the question said that it's in alkaline condition. If in alkaline condition, then it's impossible to form hydrogen ion, or it's impossible for hydrogen ion to appear in the chemical equation. So we have to eliminate it. How can we eliminate it? We need to neutralize it. We need to make it to water. By how? What can react with hydrogen ion? What can react with acid? The answer is hydroxide ion, which is alkalis, right? So because there is 6 hydrogen, so I will add 6 hydroxide on the right. If I add 6 hydroxide on the right to make sure the equation is still equal, the left hand side is still equal to the right hand side, so I also need to add 6 hydroxide here. Okay, and then now 6 hydrogen and 6 hydroxide add together, will equals to 6 water, because 1 hydrogen ion adding 1 hydroxide ion will be 1 water. So now you have 6, so it will be 6 water. So I will correct it. It will become 6 water. Okay, but not yet finished. You have to simplify it. So here 3 water, no need. And then 6 minus 3 water, it will be only 3 water left. So make it more pretty. So it's done. Okay, it's done. And then let's try another one. Or I should let you try it. Okay, you try to do it and then you show me the answer. Let me mark it. Okay, and then for number 6, iodide is changed to iodine. For another chemical, iodate is also changed to iodine. So I can write the half ionic equation first. I think you can do the following. Okay, and then that's all. So your work this time is complete all from page 27 to page 30. Then upload it to Google Classroom this time. Okay, after this I will ask you to do the exercise also. Okay, you check the message in Google Classroom. Okay.